actually explained what we are doing and has explained what we have found so far. So I just want to mention three things, just three things very briefly. One, as a government, we appreciate the difficult times that Kenyans are going through. Kenyans are going through difficult times. Kenyans are going through economic hardships. The cost of living has been high, and Kenyans are struggling with this. Kenyans are struggling with reducing incomes, and we do appreciate that things are not easy. While saying that, I want to appreciate that this has been contributed by two things. One, of course, is global issues of international in nature. As you are aware, we have got a situation in the Middle East, in Israel, and Gaza, that situation, the simmering and ending situation between Russia and Ukraine, and more important, in the inflation that is happening in the United States, the rising interest rates. You will recall that when this government came to office, the basic rate in the US, the treasury rate, was in the region of 0.5%. It has gone up tenfold to 5.5%. If the Kenyan interest rate would have gone up corresponding to the US rate, right now we could have seen interest rates of up to 100%. These factors, of course, have combined to exert a lot of pressure on not just the Kenyan economy, many African economies, and a lot of economies in the global south. So this problem is largely international in nature. We are finding that some of our neighbors, some of the countries in Africa, 3 countries in 3 years have defaulted on their debt obligations. And it is fulfilling to know that despite that prevailing circumstances, Kenya has avoided that trap, and we are currently current on our international debt obligation in terms of our servicing, and there is absolutely no possibility that the Ruto government is going to default on our international debt obligations. Secondly, it is also contributed by some things that have been done historically not right. And you look at our underinvestment in agriculture, the topic of our discussion today, that over the last 10 or so years, we've seen declining investment in agriculture. We have seen a decline in all other key production indicators, manufacturing, export, foreign direct investment. All these have contributed to slowing down of our economic growth, and therefore contributing to the current economic hardship that we have. So we are not hiding our head in the sand like the proverbial ostrich. We are admitting that things are tough, things are hard. We have diagnosed correctly what is the problem. Combination of both the international circumstances, the international issues, and also the historical underinvestment in key production areas that have happened in the past. That is my first message. My second message is that it will take time, and change and transformation is slow and painful. So we are asking Kenyans to bear with us as we go through this journey. The most important thing is that there is no option. There is no single route that is an easy route. There is no escape route to this. We have to do things, the painful things. We have to do things deliberately, and we have to do things realistically, not cosmetically, because we can have some results which are going to please people in the short term, but in the long term, we have paid for it. Historically, we've seen previous governments have gotten into that temptation of doing what is politically expedient and what is easy to do and taking the easier route. The William Ruto government recognizes and realizes that for us to have meaningful change in the medium term, we have to do the right things, lay the right policy foundation, and be very deliberate in matters of managing our economy and actually reviving our economy and putting the nation back on a path of growth and a path of transformation. So we are not saying it is going to happen overnight, but we are saying it must be done. My third and final message is that even within that context, great things are happening. And this roadshow has even revealed to us who have actually been swimming in this water. But when sitting back and taking a step back to see what we have done, I am personally very, very satisfied in what I'm finding. Yesterday, some very interesting statistics coming out that despite the prevailing economic circumstances, we created our job creation in the formal job sector, expanded by 4%. In many other countries, that has contracted. But just that increase of 4%, both in domestic jobs and in overseas jobs, an area that is becoming very prominent within this administration, that we are able to grow formal sector jobs by 4%. And that can be found in nowhere else but our economic survey. That we are able to expand our social protection program for the vulnerable, for the elderly, for the disability people, for the orphans, from 1.1 million beneficiaries when we took over this government to 1.9 million. And not just on quantitative measures, but also on qualitative measures, where now, starting from this month, our elderly people, our vulnerable people, for the first time, they will be receiving their monthly stipend directly on their mobile money, on M-Pesa, on Airtel money, on Telecom, directly on their phones, something that they have not seen all these years. And this expansion is seeing some improvement in other areas, in terms of our health indicators, poverty indicators. So the multiplier effect of our social protection program is having far-reaching implications in other areas, not just in social protection, and even in our life expectancy, as indeed the economic survey has proven. The fact that our national savings from around 1.3 billion shillings monthly to 5.6 billion monthly from NSSF, meaning that now we can be able to convert this national savings into a pool of resources required for national investment, required for development, so that we can increasingly depend on ourselves and our resources to develop our country and not depend on borrowing. You will recall, members of the fourth estate, how difficult and painful it was for us to even increase the NSSF contributions. Stones were being hurled at us left, right, and center. Look at us now. 500% growth in our national savings as witnessed within NSSF. This for us is actually some sort of vindication and encouragement that even if we continue having stones thrown at us, by being deliberate, by doing the right things, by being on the trajectory of doing what is right, not what is expedient, is going to bear fruit in the medium term. The fact that AFCON is coming here for the first time ever, we have not had an African quality competition since the 1987 All-African Games, is coming here. The 20 billion project that we are just about to unveil to give capital to youth startups for the first time, to actually train our people for jobs domestically and most importantly internationally. The fact that we are going to complete within 2024 10 new national stadiums that had stored within the previous government. All this shows that although we have got problems, and although we do recognize that change is slow, we are clearly making very serious strides in this direction. And what we have found today is actually remarkable. 2 quarters, quarter one, quarter two of 2023 financial year, and quarter 3, where agriculture has grown by 6.8%, within the context of a national growth rate of 5.9%. To have this growth, we have not seen this for a long time. And remember, this is coming from a period of contraction, where in the previous period, the agriculture grew by only 1.3%. These figures, someone said, figures don't lie. It is liars who figure. These figures are there to speak for themselves. The fact that we have increased our maize production from 40 million bags to 61 million bags. The fact that we have distributed 2.3 million bags of fertilizer to 560,000 farmers. Previously, only 50,000 farmers were receiving subsidized fertilizer. Our deliberate policy to subsidize production, not consumption, is bearing fruit. As we speak, our maize balance sheet is okay. We have now launched a new initiative which we are calling 72 by 27. That is to say, by the year 2027, we want to increase from the 61 million bags to 72 million bags of maize. And on the area of rice, from currently 200,000 metric tons of rice to 600,000 metric tons by expanding rice and irrigation in Ahero, new projects in Budalangi, expansion of Mwea through the Diba Dam, and actually new production within the Tana Delta, so that we can reduce our import of rice from 82%, a whooping 82%, to 45% within 2024 alone. Indeed, a very, very, very lofty ambition. So we are also going to focus more on having some empirical, verifiable metrics on our value chain to increase our agro-processing, to increase our value addition in our established value chains like leather, like tea, like coffee, like pyrethrum, like edible oils, so that we do not only have enough food for our people, but we have enough money in the pockets of our farmers. So ladies and gentlemen, things are hard. Ladies and gentlemen, change is coming, but it's coming slowly. But ladies and gentlemen, great things are happening right in front of our eyes. This revolution shall not be televised. It's coming soon. Thank you. For me, as a certified football fanatic, I remember the cries that we had in '96 when we lost our bid to some other country. Kasarani is in progress. Nyayo is in progress. Most important is that plans are underway to start Talanta Stadium that is going to happen on Gong Road, which is going to be the main venue. What I want to promise to you is that within the next 4 weeks, we will undertake to take the media on an inspection tour of this, and we want you to hold us to account. We are not going to lose this. I am with you here. So I want to ask for your support. I am going to ask Cabinet Secretary AJAABU Namwamba that within the month of February we need to visit all sites, because this is not a government project. This is a Kenyan's project, and you and us are going to work together to hold our officers to account to ensure that we do not lose this bid. You will agree with me, coming to the second question, that CS AJAABU Namwamba and the team have done extremely well in terms of cleaning up our federations. We've done it in volleyball, we've done it in football. The fact that now we have been readmitted to FIFA. I think what we are saying is that government and international organizations in the area of sports have got a mutual role. They have got a symbiotic role. Nobody is right to the exclusion of the other. And the same way that we've done on football, on volleyball, on basketball, cleaning up the federations, we have got new policies, new laws, new regulations in this area. Even in the area of badminton, we want to have a constructive engagement with the international federation. Doesn't mean they are right and we are wrong. What we want is a win-win between the international organization, the national federation, and also us as a government. What we are not going to allow is this vested interest where people are holding captive our sports simply because there's an international organization. And I think our experience in football, our discussions with FIFA, our discussions with CAF, and the fact that we are able to identify and to have some meaningful reform, it is in the interest of international sports organizations